quote, the bar exam likely serves as a barrier to the racial and ethnic diversity of attorneys in Delaware.
Thank you for reading the quote again.
You're welcome.
I believe that that's a question that needs to be analyzed and studied, and I have not
But
studied.
you were chairman of the committee, and your staff wrote this report.
So it was, if I may explain, it was,
Okay?
it was,
But I don't have much time.
well, it was not
Sorry.
my staff, so no, I
Okay.
wouldn't say my staff wrote that report.
Fair enough, Judge. Do you agree, quote, that the Delaware bar exam serves as a barrier to the racial and ethnic diversity of attorneys in Delaware?
Senator, I believe that that is a complicated, complex question that requires analysis that I have not done.
Mr. Chairman.
Certainly, Senator Kennedy.
Mr. Chairman, I think you mischaracterized my questions.
Oh, no, sir, I wasn't referring to you at all.
I'm glad to hear that, because my questions of the judge were, and I never got an answer, did she agree or disagree with the recommendation?
What's going on, patriots? And welcome back to Free Thinking. I'm your host, Liberty. And if you just watched that clip without choking on your morning coffee, congratulations, you got the stomach of a bureaucrat. For heaven's sake, did you see that? The question was simple: does the bar exam act as a barrier to diversity? And the answer we got was an Olympic-level dodge. It's a complicated, complex question that requires analysis that I have not done. Really. With all due respect, Judge, you co-chaired the committee that produced the recommendation. That's like the head chef saying, I haven't tasted the soup, I just sent it to the diner. This isn't about whether she wrote the report. It's about whether she agrees with the fundamentally progressive idea that objective standards like the bar exam are somehow inherently racist or discriminatory. The refusal to take a stance tells you exactly what they're protecting. Is it impartiality or ideology? When a nominee can't even offer an opinion on a policy they helped craft, you know the progressive playbook is running on autopilot. We've got the full video breakdown coming up, and trust me, there's more evasion, more talk about forecasting future rulings, and more attempts to turn the confirmation process into a law school final exam on legal minutiae. But before we dive into the swamp, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to Free Thinking, and tell me in the comments below, do you think judicial nominees have a moral obligation to share their worldview? Or should they keep hiding behind the impartiality shield? Let's get that conversation started.
Let me ask you, Judge, in the time I have left, you wrote a report along with your colleagues regarding the bar admission in Delaware, and you said, quote, the bar exam likely serves as a barrier to the racial and ethnic diversity of attorneys in Delaware. Did you say that?
Thank you for the question, Senator. No, my colleagues and I did not write that report. That is a report that was written and delivered to the Supreme Court.
Did you vote on the report?
No, I did not vote on the report.
Do you disagree with that statement?
Will you read the statement again, Senator?
Sure. Quote, the bar exam likely serves as a barrier to the racial and ethnic diversity of attorneys in Delaware.
Thank you for reading the quote again.
You're welcome.
I believe that that's a question that needs to be analyzed and studied, and I have not studied.
But you were chairman of the committee, and your staff wrote this report.
So it was, if I may explain, it was.
Okay.
It was.
But I don't have much time.
Well, it was not my staff, so no, I
Okay.
wouldn't say my staff wrote that report.
Fair enough, Judge. Do you agree, quote, that the Delaware bar exam serves as a barrier to the racial and ethnic diversity of attorneys in Delaware?
Senator, I believe that that is a complicated, complex question that requires analysis that I have not done.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. I want to clarify this because you've had three people ask questions about it. I think I get the answer. Apparently, it's still in doubt to some. We're talking about recommendations made by a committee to you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
These are not recommendations that you personally wrote or were involved in writing?
That's correct.
You did not vote for or against those recommendations?
That's correct.
Some other body is now deciding if there's any action to be taken?
The Supreme Court is considering what to do with the recommendations.
That's pretty clear, isn't it? And the questions that have been asked over and over again suggest otherwise, and you've said over and over again just what I said. So I think Is there anything more you want to say on the subject to make sure it's clear?
Thank you for the chance to clarify, Chairman. What happened is that there was a committee that was created to analyze diversity in Delaware, in the bar. That committee was purposefully made up of a large group of people who have an interest in the issue to consider the issue. The Supreme Court wanted to get people's honest views about what the recommendations might be. So we did not identify, exclude, tell people what they should think or make as recommendations. We accepted the recommendations that were provided to us. And now the Supreme Court is considering which recommendations it will and will not take and implement.
Mr. Chairman.
Certainly, Senator Kennedy.
Mr. Chairman, I think you mischaracterized my questions.
Oh, no, sir, I wasn't referring to you at all.
I'm glad to hear that, because my questions of the judge were, and I never got an answer, did she agree or disagree with the recommendations?
Senator, I was not referring to you at all. You've asked that question, and most nominees have given the same answer as these nominees, but it's your right to ask that question. And so I was referring to this so-called report involving the Supreme
I
Court.
was too. And if you have a second round, I'm going to ask it again.
Well, there's
Does
no plan.
does the judge agree or disagree with the recommendations?
Senator,
I'm not really interested in how many lawyers can dance on the head of a pin.
Senator,
I'm just interested in hearing whether the judge agrees or disagrees.
Senator, you're doing the same thing that we've done when the tables were turned. Try to get these nominees to say what their personal views are, and most of them think it through and believe that they can't do that, and it makes them sound as if they don't have a personal
Well,
view.
Mr. Chairman, I think that's the purpose of the Judiciary
Well, you're
Committee.
entitled to your opinion.
Let me just finish my thought. I'm entitled to my opinion. I mean, we're confirming these nominees for lifetime appointments. They're not elected. You don't think it's relevant what they believe?
I think you create a problem for them that jeopardizes their role as judges.
When I just ask them what they believe?
May I finish my thought?
Certainly, I apologize.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that they understand that if they start expressing their personal views, as Ms. Chung has said repeatedly, it's a forecast of the future, and they're trying their best to say law, facts, precedent, and stick with it. And I think that's what we expect of judges.
Well, I just disagree, Mr. Chairman. I think people's personal beliefs, have they thought about the world? Have they thought about the issues that are central to American democracy? I think that's perfectly appropriate. I'm surprised that no, and this isn't meant to be personal, but that you haven't directed them, the witnesses, to answer our questions.
We asked the same question to Trump nominees and got the same response. This is a predictable course of action on this committee. We try to probe as deeply as we can, and witnesses don't always go along with the extent of our probe.
Well, recently they never do.
Well, under Trump's nominees, they never did either.
Well, I questioned them too, as you recall.
All right, patriots. Let's breathe that one in. Do you ever watch something so polished, so rehearsed, that it almost squeaks when it moves? That's what Washington calls qualification. Around here, we just call it dodging accountability in a three-piece suit. You know what gets me? These nominees talk like they're under oath at a hostage negotiation. I can't answer that. It's complicated. I haven't studied the issue. Well, guess what? America's been studying you, and we see the playbook. The strategy isn't honesty, it's camouflage. Say nothing long enough and maybe nobody notices what you actually believe. But here's the kicker. Despite all that verbal origami, she's now wearing the robe. Confirmed. Lifetime gig. And both parties nodded along like it was a book club meeting. Bipartisan support, they call it. I call it bipartisan amnesia. Because if a judge can't tell the American people what she believes about the Constitution, the law, or basic principles like justice and equality, what exactly are we confirming? A philosophy? Or a mystery novel? Let's get something straight. The founders didn't fight a revolution so future generations could play Guess My Belief on Capitol Hill. We expect integrity, not interpretive dance. The robe doesn't erase humanity, it should reveal conviction. And when conviction is treated like a liability, that's when the scales of justice start tilting towards the political convenient. Now, some folks will say, liberty, calm down, it's just procedure. No, procedure is how you cook an egg. And last I checked, We're not scrambling the Constitution for breakfast. This is about who shapes the law that governs your life and mine. If these nominees won't answer questions when they need something from us, imagine the silence once they got the gavel. And don't miss the symbolism. A nominee dodges, a chairman protects, another senator protests, and somehow that circus still hands out promotions. That's not meritocracy, that's bureaucracy with a spray tan. The truth is, we've built an elite class that mistakes discretion for depth and silence for strength. Real strength is moral clarity, saying, here's what I believe and here's why. Even if people disagree, at least we know the compass points somewhere. So what do? We stay loud. We stay awake. We stop treating confirmation hearings like polite cocktail hours for future power brokers. Because every "I can't answer that" chips away at the republic our grandparents bled for. America doesn't need more polished silence. It needs truth, courage, and people unafraid to stand for something even when it's unpopular. So let's keep this movement alive, patriots. Hit that like button if you believe judges should stand on principle, not politics. Subscribe to Free Thinking if you're tired of Washington's word salad. And share this video so the next generation knows freedom doesn't survive on mute. Because here we don't whisper truth, we broadcast it. Loud, clear, and unapologetically American. I'm Liberty, and this is Free Thinking. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.